How are you? Yeah.
I'm getting money off today, so I'm going to shopping. Here's the money.
Yeah.
So if you probably don't like the muddy weather stuff, then just, you have what is the muddy weather coming up with the dogs.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
It's gonna get cold again, so. Yeah. Hope it comes quick. It's supposed to be like ice cream. It's amusing. What was that thing about today with the fire truck from the town?
I saw one of them. That's wow. It was today.
Welcome to the council meeting for December 17th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Nathan Van Horn,
Present.
Mark Couple,
Present.
Doug McKeon,
Present.
Alan Claypool.
Meeting minutes. We'll start with November 5th. We have November 5th and 19th. I wasn't here the 19th, so we can approve.
You can still hold this.
Okay, and then I'll just abstain and then from the 19th one. Okay. Council have any changes or discussion on any of them?
Make a motion that we approve. A second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes for November 5th and 19th. I'll abstain for the 19th. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, at this time, open up for any public comments. If anything's not on the printed agenda. All right. Moving on to new business. We got Casey. You're up, sir.
All right, great, thank you. I have a handful of items. I'll go through this as efficiently as possible, but I can address any questions. I got a packet there, but mainly the stuff in red are the action items for council to consider. So I'll hit each one of those. I'll refer to the sheet in here, then I'll have the finals for signatures at the end of the meeting. The first item is the substantial completion document associated with the wastewater treatment plant. If you go to the third page, sorry, I didn't usually have those numbered, I didn't do that, but if you go to this page right here, the third page, basically it says the substantial completion is October 29th, and then we got data today. Basically at that time, the majority of the work is complete and the plant was operational. As everybody knows, there's also there's punch list items on here as well that they've worked on since. And then the main item we're still working on is that screen that's going to be installed in early 2026. Project's not closed out yet. We can't close it out financially with SRF, but we would ask council to consider a motion to approve and the signing of the certificate of substantial completion for Project A wastewater treatment plant.
Yep. I'll make a motion that we approve the signing of the certificate of substantial
completion.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve the certificate of substantial completion for wastewater treatment plant. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The other item is a pay application for the same project, Project A wastewater treatment plant. It's also included in the package. Again, I always put those big blue numbers on there, but it's attached on there. I've put the red boxes. But if you look at the top of it, it's pay application number 32. Basically, this is all the work other than the screening and the retainage. With that, we would recommend pay application number 32 be approved for Crosby Construction for $219,027.18.
Make a motion that we approve pay app number 32.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve pay app number 32 in the amount of $219,027.18. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The next item is the retainage release. It's actually pay application 33. The actual 362 is at the amount to finish, but if you go to the next sheet, in the top, it'll say pay application number 33. And if you look at that, basically you'll see $500,000 is what you're approving with this pay application. And with that, currently at this point, you have $571,000 with all of the substantial completion, with the substantial completion behind us. And then the punch list is majority of complete. We've held some retainage, but they've asked to release $500,000 of it. So basically, now that they're substantially complete, they've asked for a retainage release. And typically what we do, or typically for the contract, that can be done, you withhold a certain amount associated with the punch list. So you want to hold enough to make sure the punch list is done. So that's why we're still holding $71,000. And you haven't paid them, of course, for the bar screen work. So basically, this is releasing the retained significant amount for the work that they've got completed as of October 29th. So we would ask council to consider pay application number 33, $500,000 partial retained release.
Make a motion that we approve the signage of pay app number 33.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve pay app 33, the amount of $500,000 partial retained release. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Then on the next one, it's a different project. If you go to the next sheet, you can see various items are highlighted there in yellow, but this is associated with the water main project. It's going on now. As if you recall, the stuff up there on the north of the subdivision, that's all been done. Right now, we're getting ready to coordinate the construction there along the state route along West 33. With this is pay application number 2 for Bun Excavating for an amount of $125,733.72. As you can see, you're roughly $882,000 into the $1.6 million contract. So they're about halfway through the project. So we ask council to consider approval of that application number 2.
Make a motion that we sign pay app number 2 for the North Water Main.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve pay app number 2 for the North Water Project, the amount of $125,733.72. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then the next 2 items are items associated with maintaining your compliance with community crossing and NDOT. Basically, you've done a Title VI in the past. This is an update to your Title VI plan. This is a template document that NDOT gives everybody, so we've taken the liberty to fill that out. And then you also have to stay current on your ADA transition plan. We couldn't find when we had done one in the past, so we put together a very condensed form of that, which I have, which is basically just a resolution. But if you go to the Title VI, if you go to this sheet, the next sheet, it shows the title. I mean, it's got 50 pages in there, but I wanted to show you this next section, the table of contents. It has everything in there that is associated with the Title VI. And then the next couple sheets are signed by Nathan, approving the assurances. And then there's a part where council actually adopts the Title VI document. So we would ask that council makes a motion to sign and approve the 2025 Title VI update.
Make a motion, we approve, Title VI update.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve Title VI, Plan 2025 update. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
The other item, in order to stay compliant, there is a ADA requirement. So this is an update as well. And what you have in front of you as well, that next sheet, it is a resolution basically approving that ADA transition plan. And again, that's an update. We treated it as an update, we kept it condensed to make it just to do it the right way, but that does have a resolution on that. I don't
You know
know,
what resolution number we'd be at?
I just don't.
We so approve that, and then
Gotcha.
we'll get you a resolution number.
So I think the motion would be approving the ADA 2026 transition plan and the required resolution.
Those, sorry, I must, the 2026.
2025, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
there you go, I'm making sure. All right.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution for the ADA for 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the table to approve the ADA Transition 2025 plan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you for those action items. If I may just take 30 seconds to give you a quick update on all the stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
So first off, like I said, on the water project, the water construction's complete on the north end, the testing was done, and then Todd's working with Jeremy and Lynn at our office to start the US 33 section. On the wastewater project, the main item left, of course, is closing out the treatment plant. That barge screen will be in early 2026. The other item we're trying to get our arms around is you do have some funds unused as part of that project. I think it's probably somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000. So you will have to find some, and some of that we can use for the gate, but we'll try to give you a summary in January where we're at on that. The other project that we're working with Jeremy on, if you recall, is there's a large valve replacement project. That's part of your funding for the water, and then also the tower project. So those will probably bid later this spring. Todd, on the community crossing, I think it's mainly punch list side, and so that probably won't be closed out until probably early next year, restoration. So, and just a quick hitter on a few of the items that you have in here for you.
I can remember when we met, when Jeremy was there, he was kind of a window for the water tower kind of.
I think what we talked about was getting this section done. We talked about bidding it out probably in the spring so that we could start construction like in the summer. That way, the water main project that we're working on now will be complete. Yeah. And the issue with that we just did it in Cromwell, but the issue with that is with just the one tower, when we take that down, we're going to work with Jeremy to come up with a way to maintain pressure. Basically, if you pump it out of the tank, using VFDs, blowing off in different spots. That's what fire department know and everything. It's doable. It's just some caution for building that. Yeah. So,
Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll give you the rest of them, maybe, at the end of the meeting, if that's okay.
Yeah. Alright, we'll move on to do big construction now, and then we'll do RDC appointment. Yeah, perfect.
So, I think you guys all received an email today.
Yes, sir.
From the community,
Yeah.
so it kind of sums it up, but, our development out there has some punch list items, obviously, within it. Obviously, a little off guard this year, so I don't know if you were supplied the system engineer's estimate. You got these last week. And they're requiring 120% of that estimate as a surety for the work to be completed. Now, what I was wanting to do was use our READY money as a backstop for that. The READY grant is gonna be sub-granted to the town of Churubusco, and then they are the minister of that money after my, invoice, then you send it off to the RDA, then it gets approved, and you get the money back. So, what I was planning to do is earmark that surety money for that. And it just gets released as that is taken care of. Obviously, we don't have a sub-grant agreement yet from the IEDC, so we don't have anything that can be, done today, but
Right.
I wanted to take it under, have, council take it under consideration, so, we had an MOU that expired, so we had an amendment, and that was, it's set to expire on December 31st, so we'll have to do another one, but this is kind of the name we're playing with the RDA and the IEDC right now with the struggles they're having generally, so everybody's suffering. But I want to keep this going because, the sooner I can get this recorded, I can start building houses. Obviously, with the lift station not coming in until mid-April, maybe May, so it's up and running and everything's accepted out there, we won't have any CLOs, but it's gonna be 4, 5, 6 months ago. So that's what I'm proposing.
Okay.
So until, I really hear more from the state and the IDC on this, it might come back to whenever your next meeting is, I might just have a letter of credit and cover it and go that route. Okay. So, when is your next meeting, just so I know?
7th of January.
7th of January. Okay. So that's all I really had. Obviously I can get the flat signed, there's not much I can do other than that, so, it's all taken care of. But just you guys are aware.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I appreciate your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Everybody has a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
All right, moving on to the RDC appointments. Two that I will be proposing that we approve the Deb Charles and Lisa Fensler. I make a motion that we approve Deb Charles and Lisa Fensler to the RDC.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve Deb Charles and Lisa Fensler to RDC. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Appreciate both of them serving and. All right, and then, I'll also make a motion that we approve, Stacy Keener.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, to approve Stacy Keener to the RDC. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 I'll make a motion that we appoint Nathan Van Horn as the,
I mean, you can do it on. It's all good,
as the, appointee from the council for the RDC.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve Nathan Van Horn to the RDC. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Oh, geez, yeah, no, it's good. I could have done both ways. Make a motion that we approve Rachel Ireland for the RDC.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve Rick Fireman, as a member of the RDC. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And any other new business? Anybody there?
I don't think I have any.
All right, department reports. At Rock, how's it going, sir?
Good.
Everything going with the
Good.
department?
Good. Yeah. Full staff. Everyone's been working, so it's been good. I got just a couple things. First, easiest thing, I did already kind of preface it, talk to Madeline a little bit about it. I kind of set out earlier, a month or so ago, had guys saw their vacation time, the ones that can't roll it over or get paid out, put them on the books. I wasn't thinking Chad put in for December 30th. But technically our year ends at the 21st. She said as long as it's done by the first of the year, she's okay with it. I just needed to get you guys' approval on that. He has 12 hours, he's gonna burn it on December 30th. It'll be done before the first of the year. So as long as you guys are okay with it, we have it on the books already and it's already covered. That way it keeps me from having to take two of the shifts off this weekend, so. That I've been talking to, the radio companies, Motorola themselves, and then ERS, which basically is Motorola or Fort Wayne. I sent something to Mark on that, quote. Did you get that?
Yeah,
Just kind of quotes before. I got these. You guys can kind of take a look at what it looks like. This is the one radio, and this would be for 9 radios. I think the quote on the 9 radios could be, I would say, tweaked a little bit. And obviously, just depending on where the funding would be and where it would eventually come from, or how much we would have to buy, we just step off of that from what we would need. But as you can see, I think the radios are about 6,000 to 7,000, which seems expensive. But then when you put on all the programming, it comes out to about 13,000. After you get a mic and you get all of their technicalities in it. So they're super expensive. Everyone else in the county has them. A little bird has been said that the feeding the fire departments are going to start going to them. It's kind of a safety concern, you know. But
You're going after a grant, right?
yeah, we still haven't heard back from them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get 2 of them by the grant. But also through Emma I've been working with at Motorola, as well as Rob's been helping me out with this. There's some things that they're going to try to help us maybe write a couple grants with it as well.
Okay.
But just so you guys have kind of a grasp of, you know, it's kind of a sticker shock number on
Yeah,
this.
it's not cheap.
Yeah, when you look at it. And then I guess the only other thing it does is you're basically paying, I don't know exactly, it's either $25 or $30 a month for each of those radios. Because they have a GPS in them. They'll be intertwined with dispatch. They'll be able to see anywhere the radio is. So before we always had GPS in the vehicles, which is great until you get out and are doing something somewhere else. But it's more accurate than cell phone that I've seen. It shows the county guys that you can pull it up on the back, so I could see whoever else is on duty. So if your radio's on, it'll show them in my office, and if they walk to the back of the building, it shows if they go back to the building. So it's good, and it's a good safety feature. But it's kind of just and hopefully, obviously, what we would do is we sell our radios back to Motorola
Sure, they're gonna give you pennies in the dollar compared to what we paid for the first time, but it would be better than nothing. Because there's no reason for us to sit on another 8 radios.
Where are you at with the other grants that you were talking about then, with Motorola? I mean, you haven't even talked to them yet?
Well, we just talked to her, but they have a program through Motorola where they'll help you assist in writing some of these grants.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So the one grant is in, completed,
Yeah,
and we're just waiting on the response from them. And then.
okay.
So, just to kind of see what's out there. But I'm guessing what they are is they're matching, is what it sounds like to me. So what can you purchase? So if we're looking at that and, fingers crossed we get the 2, and then if we can purchase, 2 or 3, and they would match the value of that for 2 or 3, we'd be setting real close to the number that we would need for total radios.
Justin, why don't you just head up Motorola and see what they'll give you for those radios? Just, I know it's gonna be, like you said. it's
Well,
gonna
I
be
probably just,
$7.
in ERS they ended up beating Motorola, and I think it's obviously for a reason, they're solely Motorola. It's just that this way they're local. And so I'm guessing, and that's who we bought our radios through the last time. So I'll hit up ERS and see what they would give us for those APX.
Like you said, it's probably cheap, but
Yeah, I mean, that was in COVID time. I did talk to the county. The difference though is almost $5,000 difference from when they bought them in 21, I believe.
Really?
Of the price and the radio system. So I have an infrastructure meeting tomorrow, and that's based on all that stuff. I know Andy did reach out to EMA. There is a possibility of what it sounded like that they could put something on the tower. The problem is that's not the expensive part. The expensive part is maintaining it. Rittenhouse is kind of helping me with understanding some of it. And it sounds like it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars yearly to maintain when you have your own. So in the 800 system, the state went through 10, 15 years ago, whenever they did it, and they put up all these tower sites and said, hey, if you guys want more, now's the time to get on. If you guys build it, we'll maintain it, which would have been great for us in Woodley County, but like anyone else, we didn't have the money for it. So now you have the expense of building your own and maintaining it, because and you have to maintain it to their specifications. I think there's only certain people that can maintain it. I may be speaking out of turn, no. Ed and Brandon will tell me, but it's something along those lines where now you're responsible for, and you have to, there's redundancy, and if you're going to be connected with it, because if you're not as up with them, then it can mess up the whole system. So there's kind of restrictions that the state puts on who maintains it and who works on it, and so the idea is great, but I think it would be substantial, especially for someone like us. And it sounds like the infrastructure they're looking at is as bad as ours is. Etna Troy and South Whitley is even worse. Now they have the APX Next radios, so even though they struggle with coverage, they have a cellular that backs up too. And then thirdly, kind of the vehicle thing that we had talked about, that vehicle's gone. But I did talk with Kelly, a representative from Kelly Chevrolet, and they have, the 2026s are not as much as I thought. You would get a little less than what I had initially would have got with that 25, that prepackaged build, but what he did is he got me on Portland's bid. So it's 54.1 is what the vehicle would be. And I guess, the reason that I wanted, and like I told him, is like I like to buy a year's past model that's brand new still. This is for the fact of getting that into outfitted. So the earlier I can get that into the outfitter, the earlier I can get that vehicle that year. Because when you're only doing onesies a year, you always get pushed to the back with all these guys. But most of the time when you're getting a built vehicle, you order it in December, say, and you don't get it until April. And then that's when all of the outfitters, they get this horde of 100 trucks, and then you get it in September. Just kind of how it works. We always get pushed to the back anyway, because we're just one, and you can't blame them. Sure, people are bringing them. So just kind of something food for thought with that is, I guess, I know it's a little bit more than what we have been spending. But like this year, we sold 2 vehicles. We had the 20,000 out of those vehicles, and we'll sell 2 next year as well. So hopefully, they're better value. That's something I would look into more. But I know we did some of that based on staying under a price point for not having to go out to a certain bid style, right? If it was under a certain, if it was like 9.9, we could sell them to other towns that couldn't afford new vehicles. And so I have a Durango in a car that will be up for sale in 2026. So that's, everything else is going well. Training's completed. Everyone's got their training in. Records, get the final last records over the state, and we'll get them around 2026.
Great. How did, Sunday go? You guys part of the?
Really good. Yeah.
School?
Yep, really good. School was happy. The state did a phenomenal job coming in. They're just a great resource for us. And then we just had the countywide safety committee meeting with Lyle's a great resource for us. We're going to do another rescue task force this summer at some point, and have the administrators more involved and kind of what their role looks like in an incident. And we've got some other good things that BMA's feels like they're more involved with everything now too, which kind of wraps us all together, which is a good thing. So yeah, good trainings.
Appreciate it. Reports, Mark, you have anything?
I just had the EMA advisory board meeting this morning. Nothing really to report from it.
I would just like to urge you guys to think about what we want to do about the office structure early in the year. And probably get some sort of an executive discussion.
All I have is just, appreciate all the employees, everybody in town, just for this last year and all the work that everybody's done, and just, wish everybody Merry Christmas and appreciate y'all.
Great.
So I have anything from. All right. Appreciate everybody for coming, everybody drive home safe, and the meeting is adjourned.